Oh, racist Bruce Pearl. Oh, racist Bruce Pearl. Bring your behind in here, boy. Come on in here. You up here talking about Obama made America more racially divided when he was president. And my reaction, I'm about to preach. Can I go in on this turkey? Can I go in on this turkey? Can I? And your hair is kind of kinky. And you know what they? Never mind. I'm having to do the right thing moment with Pino and Mookie in the back. Bruce Pearl's hair. You got a lot of nerve with this one, yo. You did acknowledge just racism in America. You were born in 1960. You were too young to know about the civil rights movement, but you definitely knew about segregation. You obviously saw something. You do know that he was the first black president. You do know how racist that sounds. You do know there's only been 3 black Supreme Court justices, but you want to get into the Senate. You do know separate but unequal. And you do know that some of the laws that were around when you were a young boy, you do know that. Now, this is hilarious to me. I had a good friend of mine pass, and actually we got into it about Obama because I said Obama was as an orator. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and say Obama did a whole lot of things, but as an orator and what he was doing, but everything was smoothed out. But this turkey up here making Obama sound like he's a hybrid of Farrakhan, the Black Panther Party, and that he's power to the people, like he's Ali, like he's all rolled into someone. Not quite. No, Obama did not push for reparations. Obama did not talk about Black Lives Matter, which was going on during his. See, and that always cracked me up. Why I don't like the gaslighting, the side dishing of a Bruce Pearl, why they racist, because I'm gonna tell you why you're a bigot. Don't give him any, oh, he's a great orator and he's a star. Don't give him no compliments. You didn't diss this man. You said that you blame racism on him. A black man who was a first, who came into the picture. How many years were folks over in these United States? How long before you got the first black president in that Oval Office? How long? How many? We're in a whole new century, jive turkey. This is things people don't want to talk about. See, when people make these kind of remarks, they have a tendency to try to be all smooth. Like, let me give them a couple plus points. Just take your hood off and say what you really is, Bruce Pearl. Because to equate Obama for something that was already there, I'm sorry. Ronald Reagan was racist, as Trump is racist. It's been proven Richard Nixon was racist, Lyndon B. Johnson, Kennedy's, all of it. All of them, to me, ain't done nothing. Because Emmett Till hasn't gotten justice. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You're going to want to go off and talk about something that you are out of your jurisdiction. And Obama is probably the least, if you were going to say militant, brother. He's in between. And he did everything in between. But he never gonna speak out on nothing because he wouldn't have been, because we know why he couldn't do it. I already said common sense. You weren't gonna talk about reparations and nothing like that. But no, he had nothing to do with what was already there. Country always been racist. But Bruce Pearl, the people don't like to hear the truth about how racist it is. It's systematic, institutionalized. It is. He talks about his players. He said, we don't want to go on the subway. We want to own it, not where we go. I said, you can buy a subway, but it's already owned and it's merged out. There's a corporation. How many ownerships do you see where you're talking about something that you really are in detail? He acts like Obama didn't go through the process of what he had to go through as a black man. This is why these idiots say the most just a horrific, don't know that. Well, they know what they're doing. They trying to rile up a people. I'll be very surprised or shocked if any of the black players that play on this team in Auburn won't even be associated with this jive turkey, because this is just outrageously wrong. I'm not saying Obama, I'll say it like this. He's a brother. He ain't gonna go into a whole lot. He kind of picks and chooses, selective, if we will. Ain't no power to the people, but but to say that he's to blame for something that's already there, that that's mighty rich of Bruce Pearl. That's mighty rich, you know. That's like racism has always been and it's always going to be there because you are lacking spiritual foundation. How you gonna blame a man for something when you have uh deviant behavior which was built, which was already on the cards, which is staying on the cards? If people cared about ending racism, they would listen more biblical. They would be more spiritually inclined. They would not have idols like Trump and all these other idiots. They wouldn't listen to none of these politicians if they cared about spirituality. They don't. Because that corruption that tells them some Bill of Rights, which was built off the backs from slavery, Bruce Pearl, I hope you understand that those amendments and everything that laws were broken into was the way to bondage African people, descents, and to make money off of them in the cotton fields and beyond. That's how they built the country. But I know you know that. You thought 1776 and 1865 meant something. 1964, you was 4 years old. That's when it's civil rights, where the paper line allowed black people to enter some of those places, even though they were still subjective to not being asked. Read Sammy Davis Jr., Bruce Pearl, and tell me where Obama factor in. When Sammy Davis Jr. could perform with the Rat Pack with Sinatra and Dean Martin, but couldn't even eat in the main hall unless Sinatra backed and said, hey, he ain't eating in the kitchen. This was in the mid-60s, by the way. See, when you pop off like that, 1965, voting rights, black folk got to vote. 67, you could marry who you wanted to outside, but you still were subjective, and it was considered a felony. Yeah, make the logic make sense, Bruce Pearl. Obama ain't done no more than what was already there. And you could sit there, always looking for a scapegoat to hide their own racist ways, because he is one himself. To say that about Obama when it's already been there. It was already there, yo. It was. How many of these schools are ran by black folks? Why you got black colleges? Yeah, Bruce Pearl, why don't you go work for HBCU? Yeah. Find out how many black ownership places that own the Capitol and Hollywood and beyond. Let's do the investment. Let's talk about how businesses and people are divided. Let's talk about it. And you're giving Obama way too much power and credit. Way too much. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out one time. Peace.